Hi, I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison, Times Square Chronicles presents. I am so thrilled to have my guest today. I first met her when she did Wiesenthal on Theater Row, and right after that, there was an opera where a Jewish passenger was thrown off a cruise ship, and she went and protested that, and I was so impressed because she stands by her beliefs. I then saw a show about dogs at the New York Musical Theater Festival, which I told her about, because she has three themes that she loves. Things that show you Jewish history and the atrocities, dogs, and things that show being gay as something to be really seen. She produced the show The Incredible Likeness of Being, Indecent, for which she won a Tony for. She has 13 of them. She has one of my favorite shows on Broadway right now, The Picture of Dorian Gray. She owns a theater. She has an impeccable choice on shows that she produces. I'm talking Daryl Roth.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you for being here. I'm so thrilled to have you because
Thank you.
you are somebody I admire in this business
Thank you.
because you choose shows that are so passionate to your heart and you champion them. You're accessible, and I don't think people really know that. You're kind, you're generous, and what you bring to theater helps change lives.
Thank you for saying that.
No, you're
I've
welcome.
tried to do things that are important to me and hopefully important to other people. When you kindly mentioned some of the themes that I'm interested in.
Did I miss any of the themes?
It's not that you missed it, but I'd like to add that I love to
please.
do plays about women, strong women, and I like to do plays that actually give us an insight into the family dynamics. I think that everybody can kind of identify and learn and, and when you talk about gender, I think one of my most proud moments was doing The Normal Heart.
Oh.
Yeah, I have to say in that category, that would be my...
Wait, did you do the original one?
Not the original one, but I
The
did
revival.
The revival, yes.
I love that play.
Yeah, it was so special. And what I loved particularly about it is that it brought a whole younger generation in to see the story that they may not have known or heard only somewhat about. And they were very activated. Larry Kramer was there, may he rest in peace, every night. And I think we have a new generation of people that appreciate on whose shoulders they stand. So things like that make me feel very proud.
I saw the original downtown when I was losing a friend almost every day.
Yeah.
And at that point when you walked in, it was kind of like a maze, and on the walls were pictures or pieces of the quilt. So
there's a lot about that time that, really needs to be remembered. I guess remembrance is one of my important themes too, because as you mentioned, I really am kind of feeling responsible to do plays about the Holocaust and about times past. As we know, history is repeating itself as we sit here together.
What I love about what you produce is it never tries to manipulate your brain into thinking one way or the other. It lets you come to your own conclusion. And I appreciate that more than anything else.
Well, thank you. I think that good storytelling written by wonderful playwrights can often give you many sides of a story.
True.
Their side, clearly, but in fairness. And I think I would look for that. And I know that everything and everyone has a point of view. And when you're telling a story, you want to present that point of view.
Yes.
But I think people are too smart. People in the audience are too smart to be swayed.
Oh, I think that's what's happening right now.
And that's a good thing.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
Because in all honesty, when I have to go review a play like this, without wanting it, my claws come out. When you try to manipulate me, I'm like, "Arr."
Well, I think we all have to make our own choices, and not everyone loves everything that, is being produced. But I think we can all see the good in it.
Oh, I love some of the stuff that's being produced
Oh, it's a great season. So it's an exciting season, both on Broadway and off Broadway.
Yes.
And I feel as though it's needed now. I've been in theaters lately where people have been walking out saying, I really needed that. Because the uplift and the inspiration, we have to have something to counteract the news.
Yes, the last time we saw each other, we saw a play called We Had a World.
Yes.
What a fabulous play.
It was wonderful,
And you-
beautifully acted.
You helped champion that.
No, I was there
No.
as a new audience member. I was there because I had worked with Joanna Gleason many years ago, and I adore her. And I love Josh Harmon, the playwright. So it was just
I love this play. I think
must
it's
not
going to
miss.
be on a lot of people's lists as one of the best plays this year.
I agree, and I hope so. And I think it will be done many places. And it should be. And it should be. But back to Dorian Gray, because
Yes,
I'm
please.
so
I
happy.
was just going to go there because
Yeah.
honestly, I have not seen a performance like this in a very long time. She's like a Colleen Dewhurst, a Julie Harris. And I think we've lost some of these people.
Well, she is a
Brilliant.
magnificent actress. I think the fact that people know her from her success on Succession.
I never saw this show. I have not seen
Yeah.
it. So I did not know who she was.
She's a wonderful actress from Australia,
Yeah.
and she's theater trained, as you can tell from this
Obviously.
amazing feat that she, gives us every night. But the Dorian Gray story has been kind of retold by this genius theater maker, Kip
Fabulous.
Williams.
Fabulous.
Yeah, Kip is the creator of this particular version of Dorian Gray.
Love it.
And what he calls his vision is cine theater. It's partly film, it's partly live theater. It's just a combination. It's the experience that you have anchored by Sarah Snook's performance, which you will just never see anything like.
29, 32. I know she plays something.
26 characters.
26.
It's
And each is
it's the way she
distinctive.
does it, because she segues from one to the other like turning on a dime. Seamlessly. And with such passion and enthusiasm. I mean, she raises an eyebrow and looks at you, and you just can't get over how you know exactly where you are and whose body she's inhabiting at that moment. The thing that is amazing, it is 2 hours of a marathon. It's a theatrical marathon.
Yeah, there's no intermission.
Aside from that, from her point of view,
Yeah.
she doesn't stop for one
No.
moment.
She doesn't even take a drink of water, which astounded me.
She's just amazing. And I'm so happy that she's getting the accolades that she so deserves. And people haven't seen anything like this. The production is an experience.
I am definitely going to say she's taken the Tonys, the Outer Critics, the Drama Desk, and maybe the Drama League. And I think anyone that has an award to give to this person, they're going to give it to her because this is seriously.
It's amazing. There are a number of good performances on the boards right now, but
Yeah,
her
but
performance,
this is above and beyond.
extraordinary.
It's like when Ben Platt did Dear Evan Hansen. There was nothing that was beating that performance that year.
well, as my father would always say, from your mouth to God's ears.
No, I'm serious.
I hope it happens for her.
There's some shows that I would go back and see again this year.
Mm-hmm.
Not normally my normal moda apparendum.
Well, because
once
you
I've
have a
seen-
lot to see.
Well, yeah, but I'm actually going to go back and see maybe Happy Ending again
Uh-huh.
because I really love that show. But I would go back and see this again.
There's a lot that you miss on the first go-round. I will
Exactly.
say, the more I see it, the more I hear different things and just watch her movements and her. It's so beautifully choreographed in the way that it's staged. It's just incredible. I urge anybody to come and see it, and it's playing through the end of June. And what's amazing to me, I call it a marathon because it really is. And then when she finishes and comes out for the bow, which has been glorious because the audiences stand and she can't even get off the stage after 3 standing
And
ovations.
she's generous in her bows.
She's very generous in her bow, but it's as though she's back to being a real person. And
Yes.
it's not like she just went through this 2-hour marathon. She's
No,
happy
it's-
and smiling and grateful and so gracious with the audience. I mean, she's a wonderful, wonderful human being, I have to say.
My 3 favorite moments of the show are when she sits down at the table and everybody's at the table.
Yes.
That was genius.
Yeah.
When she used Persona, because I'm a big fan of Persona, it's like the poor man's facelift.
Crazy. It's crazy. But it's so timely. That's one of the things that Kip Williams did so brilliantly, is bring this story into the modern age.
Yes.
And that particular part of the show does that.
But they also did something else, which as soon as she hit the first note, I knew exactly what she was doing when she sang Gorgeous from the Apple Tree.
Right. And that's another opportunity to bring it into today's world.
But it was also bringing it into the past of musical theater.
Correct.
So I was like, yay.
Yeah. Kip is he's really a visionary, I think. He used to be the artistic director of the Sydney Theatre Company.
Oh, okay.
That's from whence he comes. And I think he's really a star.
Yeah, it was
So
fabulous.
I'm glad you loved it.
I did. Now, you also own a theater.
I do, on Union Square. It's on 15th Street, and we've had the luck of having some very long-running hits there. We opened with De La Guarda, which ran for 9 years.
That was a
I
long
never
time.
expected that. And then they had what I call the cousin, which was called Ferza Bruta. And then after they flew out, because it was all very aerial and
Right.
acrobatic, we started doing, different plays. In and of itself was a brilliant run. Derek DeGaudio, who's just a genius illusionist and storyteller.
I did.
And lately, the last 3 years, we've had Titanic.
Oh,
which-
that's where Titanic went?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I didn't know that,
Yes,
actually.
and
Because
so
I
it's-
saw it somewhere midtown.
Yeah, it started in a little theater, a basement theater, and it came to me when they realized they were a big hit and wanted
saw
more
the
than 90
basement
seats.
version.
Yeah, but so it's run for 3 years. They're going to be ending it this summer, but it was a great run, and I'm very proud that I was the landlady.
Well, they won an award at the Olivier's.
They did.
And I was like, whoa. What other playwrights do you champion? I know Paula Vogel.
Paula Vogel, Edward Albee, I did 5 of his plays, and he was one of the most influential people in my life, of course. Right now, I'm very excited about a young playwright named Bess Wohl, whose play Liberation just finished a run at the Roundabout, and I'm hoping to move it to Broadway in the fall. I think it's brilliant. I think that her writing is just so smart and so sensitive and so wise. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully it will come to fruition. And I don't know. It's hard to pick. I love a good playwright, no matter what. I love a good playwright.
I do too.
And Anna Devere Smith is a good playwright for me. I've commissioned her to write a play about Anita Hill.
Oh,
Yes, it hasn't been written yet, but it's in the future.
okay.
And yeah, lots of things to think about. And of course, old friends, which I know.
I can't wait to see Old Friends. I'm
Yeah.
seeing it Friday, and by the time this airs, I'll have already seen it.
Well, you're going to be thrilled.
Oh, I am. I'm a huge Sondheim fan.
Me too. But the
Are
performances,
there cutout songs from Sondheim in this?
are there what?
I like the cut songs, the ones that people don't know.
Well, it's an interesting mix of songs. Cameron McIntosh put this together. At first, was presented in London, and there are 41 songs.
Oh, okay. There's that.
Yeah, and there are 17 talented, magnificent people who are led by Bernadette Peters and Leah Salonga. Beth Level is in it, and it's just, I have to say, you don't really have to be as passionate a Sondheim lover as I am, and probably you
I
are.
am.
But you can just come and enjoy this because it's joyous. In fact, at the opening, which was just last night, I was happily seated in front of Kristen Chenoweth, who, we chatted, and at the end she said, I am just so happy that I am here to feel this joy. And I think that's what people are feeling. It is joyous. And it's such a tribute to one of the greatest. One of the greatest. We can't deny that.
No,
Yeah.
not for me. I remember, I'm not sure how old I was when I got it, but I got the Blue album that has the Scrabble pieces on it, that had a lot of cut songs on it. So I've known his cut songs before. And then I saw the original company
Yes.
in LA, and then Night Music. Yeah. No,
Well, I had my hands in Company, the revival, and also Into the Woods, the most recent Into the Woods. And I just, he had such an impact, his songs, and
He told
when
the
Jordan was
truth.
younger, I used to love to share all Sondheim with Jordan because I think he really appreciated it as a young person. And he was with me last night, so it was very nice to have that
good.
shared experience,
Yeah, to me, Sondheim always told the truth of what people didn't want to talk about.
Or what was important to him and what was honest.
Yeah, I think that's why I liked it so much.
I get that.
And the words, it was
Well,
kind
it's
of
so brilliant the way he strings these
Yes.
words together and these rhymes. Nobody does that like Sondheim.
It's funny because it's lyrics when I see a show and I'm reviewing it that I look at the most. If they don't land,
Yeah.
doesn't matter how much you like the tune.
And also the book. If the book doesn't work,
Yes. To me,
that's a biggie.
this year on Broadway, there are 3 books that just do not work in major musicals. And it's so sad because I think it's their downfall.
I think it's very important that the book anchors the story you want to
Yes.
tell. And then you can have the best songs and, clever lyrics or whatever, but you have to be engaged in the story that's being told. And that's the hardest thing to achieve, really.
Tell me if you agree with this, because I think somehow where playwrights should be at the top of the heap on what is seen and what is heard, sometimes they're not even considered. And I find this so bizarre.
Well, I think when you're in a collaborative situation, as you have to be to create a musical,
Right. But even in plays, this happens.
I don't know. I go back to my experience with Edward Albee.
Not with yours, but
No, but I mean, just the playwright is the god. When you're doing a
Yes, it should
play,
be.
the playwright's words are what guides everything else. You can have a wonderfully creative director, but he has to really be in sync with what is being told and how it's being told and the tone.
I'm not really happy when people take plays that a playwright has written and then decide now it's theirs and they can do with it whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
Like the revival of The Crucible, I swear, I was so growly because this was not what he wrote. And I actually did a production in LA with him where he directed it.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my God, he'd be having a cow, like a massive cow.
I think that, well, it's hard to really make this a black and white conversation because there are some
Sorry.
directors that really want, no, I appreciate what you're saying, but I know some directors that just want to try to reinvent something or reimagine it. And I don't mind that as long as it is true to
The
the
playwright.
principles and the playwright. But
But see-
reimagining a production, it could be very exciting.
Oh, I don't mind reimagined productions. I mean, you're talking there are certain playwrights that if
Yeah.
you change just an A in where they wrote it, seriously,
Well, that's Edward
massive art.
Albee.
Yes, exactly. It's O'Neill. I mean, it's a lot of the playwrights that we do that now people are going, oh yeah, you know what? I can change even what the text is trying to tell you, and I find that so incredibly bizarre.
I think sometimes the liberties that people take are done in good faith, in terms, I think so, I would like to say, in terms of trying to give someone a newer version. Even let's talk about the modern day Shakespeare's.
I don't mind those actually.
Okay, but that is a
Until-
director's take on something that
Yes, but
is in existence.
the thing with Shakespeare is that it's led for interpretation. And normally, I except for one production I saw in the park, they stay true to what the tale is trying to
I
tell.
think that's right.
So
I think that's right.
we are out of time. Is there anything
That was so quick.
I know.
I love it.
Is there anything I haven't asked you that you would like our audiences to know?
Not so much to know, but I would just love to encourage people to come to the theater. I know that the arguments are real about ticket prices, but there are always ways
Oh, there
that
are
people
totally
can
ways.
find a well-priced ticket. And I want to encourage people, especially in these times, to really be able to lose yourself outside the theater, come into the theater, have an experience that will lift you and enlighten you and just bring the joy into life that live theater can do. That's my message.
I completely agree with that.
Good.
When I got into theater, the whole reason I did it was because I loved the idea that the people in the audience could come in with bad days, horrible problems, whatever, and I had the ability to change that.
I think that's how I feel too. I know when I remember the many wonderful performances of Kinky Boots, people would come in the early days, they didn't even know what to expect, and they left with joy. And that to me is, okay, I did my job.
I am so grateful to my guest, Daryl Roth, for sharing, for talking, and for producing the kind of plays that I want to see. I'm telling you right now, go grab tickets to The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's on a limited run, but it will change your life. It is one of the best performances I have seen in my entire lifetime, and I've seen a lot of plays. I would like to thank Magda Katz for filming us and always making us look good. To Romel Gopez, the person that gave us a home, who helps us, and the Hotel Edison that has welcomed us as family. I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents.